And good Saturday morning, sports fans. Good morning to Savannah and the Low Country. It's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. It's the Coach AD right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We're live from the Sound Garden every Saturday morning. And remember, the show is presented every Saturday morning by Coach's Corner. And I got to thank John Henderson for letting us do this. And we've been doing it now. I think it's almost 12 weeks now. We've been doing this since the coronavirus started.
It has been.
So we're glad that you can join us. If you're joining us, we got a great lineup. We're going to talk to the Savannah Spirit Women's Premier League head coach. They got their first, exhibition tonight over at Benedictine Military School at 5:30 and 7:30. The Savannah Spirit Women's Premier Soccer team will have Chris Davidovich on. He'll be on about 9:15. Then, our second guest is always the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete Week. This young man is an emerging sharpshooter. That's, of course, clay sports shooting, not a sharpshooter, like he's part of the SWAT team. But he's a rising junior from Benedictine Military School and the Forest City Gun Club junior sports shooting team. And we're going to talk to Jackson Schaaf. I'm excited about talking to this young man. They've got such a good program over there at the Forest City Gun Club. And, of course, Benedictine's in the Georgia Independent Schools Association, clay sporting clays.
Sporting clays.
Sporting clays, whatever it's called. Yep. And so I'm excited to talk about him. He's having a phenomenal year. All right, then we'll get a little basketball, which we're going to talk about in a couple of seconds, little hoops. We got the Georgia High School State Association bringing in a
shot clock.
So why not go to Horace Broadnax, the head basketball coach? I can't believe he's been doing this for 15 years over at Savannah State. Time goes quick.
Man,
seems like he just got
15
there.
years?
15 years already.
Ooh.
Started in 2005. So Horace Broadnax will be on about 9:45. And then we're going to round it out with the sister show of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. And that's, of course, Rubbin' and Grubbin' every Wednesday night right here from Coach's Corner on Coach's Corner Facebook Live. We got Rubbin' and Grubbin'. We'll have the pick group, but we're going to be missing one. We'll have Dan Foles, who's the host, Brandon Bain, who is the color guy who knows everything about NASCAR, and he helps stand out. And, of course, the producer, Lawrence Bennett, who puts it together. Great job they do on Facebook Live, on Twitter. So, once again, we'll have the Coach's Corner Sports Network teams together roughly about 10 o'clock. So I'm excited about it. So let's kick this off. We talked about it Wednesday night. Don't forget, we go Wednesday night live, the middle of the week update, tell you who's coming on this Saturday or on Saturday mornings. So we got a shot clock.
We got a shot clock. It was a pretty much unanimous vote. It's a Georgia High School Executive Committee meetings every day. Tom Crean from University of Georgia was there talking to the coaches and the ADs about the importance of it, transition of it for the high school kids as they go to college. Like you said, though, not every state has it.
No, we're the 11th state.
We're the 11th state to have it. But like we talked about before, Georgia High School is now trying to be on the forefront and not on the back end of some stuff. The track stuff we were doing, we're trying to get in line with National Federation, but Georgia High School is on the forefront of this. You're a basketball coach. What do you think about it?
I mean, I love it. That's how I first started coaching basketball way back when. Like I say every week, I'm a broken record or a CD or a DVD, whatever you want to call it now. Back in 1989, when my first head coaching job was girls basketball in New York, just the girls back then had the shot clock. So they put that in way before. I mean, I can remember when I was in school, and you're talking 74 to 77. I used to do the shot clock, and I had a whistle.
Oh, wow.
I had a whistle where I had to blow if they didn't shoot the ball. There was no shot clock on the floor or on the wall yet. So they finally got that, but it's a total different game. You got to play defense. You got to make the team work their offense. It's going to be fast-paced, okay? Shot clock. The ball goes up, hits the rim. The defensive team gets it, goes down the court, resets. Shot goes up. The offensive team gets the ball, resets. So, one-shot mentality is big in with a shot clock. So we'll see how the boys and girls do with this. And like, you said on Wednesday night, it's going to be 2 years before they work it in.
Yeah. So you got transition. You're going to have it in tournaments and showcases this year. Next year it can be showcases, and if everybody in the region agrees to have it. But then the third year, got to have it no matter what. So it's coming. I think it's going to be exciting. Like you said, it's going to change the game of basketball. I think you're going to see more up-tempo, fast-paced, pick them up full court, make them run that clock type deal. So, yeah, that's shot clock.
little hot and humid out here, a little dusty. You know that the big sand dust storm came in.
Sahara and cloud. What else in 2020 we got, folks?
I was going over the bridge from Wilmington Island to Whitmarsh Island, and the sun was going down. And my wife and I are looking at each other. Is that the moon? I said, no, that's the sun, because the clouds were the sun dust cloud was unbelievable last night. But anyway, all right. Let's not forget cross country, track and field. Cross country now is going away from area to regions. Why don't they do that in volleyball? It kills me that we have volleyball areas.
Well, so I give you, for instance, we found out yesterday that you're right, cross country is going to stay in regions and golf's going back to areas, even though everybody in our region has
a golf team. Right.
I don't know. It's some things go unanswered there.
Right.
I think a lot. Georgia High School says that 65-7% of your teams in your region has to have it for it to become a regional sport. I thought we were there with softball in Class A, but we weren't. So we're, I don't know. It's a.
All right, and track and field. Track and field added some speed events, which I'm going to love to see, a 4x800, 4x200.
Yeah, so 4x800 will come in this year, and then they will transition to 4x2 in over the next 2 years.
I think 4x2 is unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's quick, it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. But the biggest thing transition year is giving people who have tracks to get markings on the track. That was the big thing.
4x200, you got 4 males or females, 4 athletes, 50 yards, 50 meters apart. 50 meters apart. I mean, you want to talk about quick. I mean, once around the track, I mean, it's going to be exciting. Okay. All right. Got to make this announcement. Okay. From the Bacon Park, from their newsletter. Okay, Savannah Junior Amateur Championship is being pushed back. It was supposed to be held Monday and Tuesday, but it's being pushed back from June 29th, 30th to July 13th and 14th to get everything out of our way, seeing what's going on with the COVID virus. So once again, the Savannah Junior Amateur, is going to be pushed back till July 13th and 14th. And golf's a big thing in this area. So
without a doubt. And the way the junior golf is you're starting to see a revitalization. Junior golf. There was a couple years you can see, but you're starting to see it pick back up in the juniors and through the high schools. Okay, and then of course tonight, big time here in the Sound Garden. Okay, we got Head Games. Foreigner tribute band. You like Foreigner? Come out here and see it. But I got to give you the sports at Memorial Stadium at 6:30. We have the men's premier soccer team, the Savannah Clovers, with an exhibition match, and then if you go over to BC. At 5:30, the Savannah Spirit, the Women's Premier League, has their They have minor league team. Yeah, their development
team. There you go.
Yeah, the younger kids and then the older.
And then it's 7:30. We have that at 7:30 at Benedictine. So there's events all over this place. Bananas started last night with a banana ball exhibition. I mean, I was watching it. I'm a banana insider. I love the bananas. I love baseball here in Savannah, Georgia. No walks. I mean, one guy walked. But no walks. You got to get to first base, before they reverse the ball.
Yes.
So they're going to reverse the ball. I call it around the horn because that's what it's called.
Exactly.
Third base, second base to first base. If he gets to first base, okay. But if not, he can go all the way around. One guy wound up getting a triple out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's unique rules. They are not baseball traditionalists in that manner. Like, the speed of the game, no going to no timeouts, go to the pitcher's mound, all these other things. Pretty cool though.
It was great. It was great. Yeah. So I enjoyed it last night. So Savannah Bananas open up Wednesday, July 1st, the first game of the season, and it was packed last night. Now we did the Savannah Fellowship of Christian Athletes All-Star Game on Monday. This is me to you if you tried watching on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report Facebook page, on the Prep Sports Report Facebook page, on YouTube, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report YouTube channel, and of course on Twitter. We had such a problem. I do apologize. The internet kept on going down, so we were losing the visual, the video. Then the audio went out, which I didn't know. I found out was out for a while. I don't know why the audio disconnected. So I got to apologize, but it was a great event. Savannah Bananas were working through what they had to do last night and what they're going to do Wednesday night. It was a great game.
Yeah, it was a great game, great event for our student athletes, especially our seniors. The senior recognition they did at 6:15 was fantastic for those kids. And you can see, obviously, when you have a great internet connection, what happens, everything's clear, you can hear. And we just struggled a little bit at Grayson Stadium, but that's no fault of our own. It's just what it is in Grayson. That's why it's historic and not new. So, but the effort was there.
The effort was there. So, once again, our first guest will be the head coach from the Savannah Spirit, the women's premier soccer team right here in Savannah, Georgia, Chris Davidovich. Last week we had a connection problem, so hopefully he'll be in the waiting room in a couple of minutes. But other than that, I mean, you got to be excited. And I just got to say one thing about COVID-19. Yes, safety comes first. Yes, we do not want to rush everybody back, but we got to get back to life. I mean, the economy took a big hit. We're starting to get everything coming back. Believe me, safety first. I coach kids. The safety first. But we got to start getting back into what we're doing here.
Well, that's going to be the big thing. So I'm going to get one last thing about Georgia High School before we get into this is so that coming out of the executive committee meetings the other day, every Thursday the GHSA's health committee meets, which is made up of members of the CDC and University of Georgia, from their health organization. And they give recommendations every week to Georgia High School about what to do. And so each week you saw an increase. So after the first week, you saw an increase up to groups of 25.
Right.
Second week we went to 50. Third week you could, put in a ball. Still no scrimmages, still no one-on-ones, but you could put in a ball. Well, they came out the other day, and they're going to keep it at that coming out of dead week. So coming out of dead week next week, starting Monday, July 6th, no ball. You can have a ball, but no scrimmaging. So no one-on-ones, no DB wide receiver drills. But you can still have a ball. You can still do those things, and groups up to 50. So what everybody's hoping, is that we'll get cut loose on July the 12th. That week going into it, where you can start scrimmaging and doing those things. Because realistically, when that second week of July hits, you're literally less than 4 weeks away from your first scrimmages. I know first scrimmages can take place the week of August 7th. So literally you're 4 weeks away. You're 4 weeks away from school starting back. You're 4 weeks away from scrimmages. And so we'll learn a lot in the next 10 days about what the fall sports shape is going to look like.
So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And, I'm looking forward to it. And, of course, Chatham County Public Schools will hopefully implement that after the dead week next week. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Major League Baseball back?
Major League Baseball's back. Okay, we'll make that quick. That's why I got my shirt on. Braves, Bravos. We'll be starting July 23rd, July 24th. Schedule should be coming out next week or the week after. So the Braves are going to play everybody in division, and then they got to play the Eastern Division of the American Leagues. They got to take on the Yankees, the Red Sox.
No one did any
the
favors.
Blue Jays. Nobody did them any favors.
And the same thing for the AL East. No favors there. Where
right.
the Nationals, the Braves.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep on track. Waiting in the wings. Well, I got to set this up while we go to our break. We got to thank our sponsors. Once again, that'll come on in about 2 seconds, but you're listening to the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report from the Soundgarden on the Coaches Sports. Keep on leaving out Coaches Corner. Coaches, because I'm a coach. You're a coach. Yeah. Coaches Corner, which you can see over my shoulder. Coaches Corner Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner, but remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night at Soundgarden, it's the Head Games, a tribute band to Foreigner. Tickets on Eventbrite are $15 to $40. And remember, make it a night at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's has got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more, From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too, every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone, capiche? If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington
New York.
Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
Good morning, sports fans. It's a beautiful Saturday. I thank you for joining us, taking the time out to join us on the internet. Once again, it's the coach and the
AD,
Karl DeMasi,
Coach Griffin,
Chad Griffin, AD. You talk. He's the custodian. He's the groundskeeper. You name it. He's sometimes the athletic trainer, but anyway, over at Calvary Day School. So we've been doing this about 12 weeks, and it's a lot of fun. And we're back here in the Sound Garden on the campus of Coach's Corner right here on Victory Drive and Thunderbolt. And remember, the show is always presented by Coach's Corner. John Henderson, got to thank him for letting us do this. And yes, our next guest, Chris Davidovich, is the head soccer coach over at Savannah Spirit, women's premier soccer team. My fault with the email, so I just sent them to try it again. So we'll see what happens. So while we're waiting for Chris to come on, and it wasn't Chris's fault, okay, it was my fault, wrong email. Soccer's growing in this area. We got the men's premier team with Savannah Clovers. We got now the Savannah Spirit with the women's Premier League. I mean, we got Savannah United. We got Tormenta. I mean, you name it. We got all you. And you're the soccer man. I mean, it's unbelievable the way soccer is booming in this area.
Yeah, I remember when I got here a long time ago, 18 years now, Coach Britt talked about how Savannah was kind of usually slow to get stuff, but you've really seen – when you find passionate people, Karl, who love certain sports, you can see the growth on it. You've seen it with lacrosse in this area. You're now seeing it with, soccer has been that way. Lacrosse is growing. You look at what we're doing with the Far City Gun Club and the growth of sporting clays.
Right.
BC's got a team, Christian's got a team, Country Day's got a team. We're starting a team. We started one first year, and now we got another group.
Christian, you said, right?
Yeah, so now we got another group of kids coming through. So we'll be starting sporting clays back this year. Bass fishing, all these things. And so the growth of sports and the opportunities for people to get involved is just tremendous. And then esports as well. Mm-hmm. So just a growth of soccer, growth of just sports in general, and kids will be able to find their niche.
Right.
And that's what's been great about the youth soccer, though, is the growth of clubs and also the development of it. And that's what parents really want to see. I mean, you had 3 kids come through it. Mm-hmm. And your most important thing you want to see from coaches is the growth and development.
Definitely.
And that is where Savannah soccer has started to set themselves apart, is that growth and development. And that's what we're going to talk about with Chris today, is the growth and development of their future for girls soccer, and the fact that now you have a league where girls can come in from all over. We had a girl in from last week from Anderson, South Carolina, that's down here doing an internship, playing goalkeeper. And, that could change their future. And so that's just what's so exciting to see the soccer growth here in this area. And then you got Clovers, Tormenta, USL 1.
Savannah United.
Academy stuff that's going on. Kids now, grassroots, from time they get an organization all the way through, can go through the pros. So fantastic.
They're here. All right, he's in the waiting room, and once again, Savannah Spirit will open up tonight at 5:30 at Benedictine Military School. Savannah Spirit is the Women's Premier Soccer League team here in Savannah. I know their season was cut short, so they're going to do a lot of exhibitions, okay? He's coached at Georgia College. He's coached at West Georgia College. He's coached at Hilton Head Prep, the Atlanta Silverbacks, and numerous other soccer programs. I also found out from his boss, DJ Spizos, that he's also written 2 books. I got to find out what he wrote those 2 books about. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner Sports Network internet stream is the head coach for the Savannah Spirit, Chris Davidovich. Chris, are you going good?
Yeah, good morning. I'm glad to be here. Sorry what happened last weekend, but we got the technology fixed. So DJ forgot to mention, I've done some acting too, man. I've worked with some big-time actors in some movies and TV shows too. So, but we can talk about that later.
You've been touching all the different areas.
Yeah, man, multifaceted, trying to experience a lot in life. And I think, just like what we have here, I think it's great to challenge yourself to do different things, get out of your comfort zone. In some ways, doing this with these guys is in my comfort zone because I've done it a while, but it's also out of my comfort zone in the sense that we're creating something completely from scratch, a whole new organization, which is incredible. Again, what Josh and DJ put together and have given me the opportunity to come do it, and it's fantastic.
Now, I heard in your voice a little these guys. Okay, so tell us how you exactly wound up over there on the South Carolina side of the bridge.
Yeah, well, I'm from Jersey, by the way.
Jersey. Where in Jersey?
I was born in Edison.
Oh, nice. Edison, New Jersey. Know her very well.
Yeah, South Jersey. My dad's family grew up in Jersey City and Bayonne. Still got a lot of family up there. So I went to Virginia Tech for school. I grew up in Charlotte, went to Virginia Tech. My first job actually right out of college was coaching college soccer at Newberry College here in South Carolina, actually. And I finished my degree on like August 6th, I think, in summer school. August 8th, I was down at Newberry, and August 10th, we started preseason. There was a player on the team older than I was, man. It was crazy. I was 22. We had a 23-year-old on the team. But so I was there for 9 or 10 months, went back to Charlotte, got into the finance world, got into youth soccer coaching. One of my former club coaches brought me in to coach a youth team, and then just really felt like that was my calling to do. I professionally was in the finance world for a little bit, but it just didn't really excite me as much. It wasn't my passion. And fortunately, I got an opportunity to go back into coaching at Georgia College State University. Was there 2 years. Went down to Thomas University for 2 years, 2.5 years, where I got my first chance to be a head coach in college to gain experience. And I went to West Georgia. When I was at West Georgia, I coached Silverbacks, ODP, youth programs at AFC Lightning. And fortunately, it was actually the crazy story, the short story. 2 years ago, I was on Hilton Head for vacation. And I was actually on the beach with my daughter. She was 9 months at the time at sunrise. And it was actually the 23rd. So a few days ago, it would have been 2 years, a few days ago. And I looked at her, I said, how'd you like to do this every day? And I just like, all right, God, I want to find a way. And I told her, I said, honey, it's going to take me 2 years, but I'll find a way to get down here. I get a phone call from my very good friend, Eric Faulkner. He used to coach at Armstrong State, the women's program. He's in North Florida now in Jacksonville. He's actually my co-author. We wrote the books together. And he called me literally a week after I was sitting on the beach that morning and said, hey, I'm with someone in the airport. I just talked to him, give him a call. He wants to talk to you about something. So I called him, talked to him. A week later, I was down in Savannah and was offered a job. 2 days later, I said yes. 3.5 weeks later, I was living on Hilton Head. So it's crazy. Yeah. And the story gets crazier. My realtor hooked me up. I got to live in Windmill Harbor in this beautiful home for like 4.5 months for free. I jogged the yacht club every morning. It was incredible. Yeah. Just how all the stuff has been laid on, just like Josh and DJ and I got hooked up. Josh and I coached against each other probably 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And we were trying to schedule a game September this past year. And he's like, hey, I remember you. We got to talking, and Josh is great. Josh, he can talk, man. And we just go on about youth soccer. And he says, hey, we got this women's program. And, we started to talk about it. I said, man, I've been waiting 7 years to do this because I had the Silverbacks for a season. And I always told everybody I learned a lot from that. It's the funny part with the Silverbacks. I was supposed to be the assistant coach was my impression. And we were at practice, like the second practice after tryouts. And the general manager was there, used to be the head coach, Chris Adams. He's a coach in North Georgia, a good friend of mine. And we have the whole team. And he looks at the team and says, all right, this is Chris. He's going to be the head coach. And I look at him. I'm like, Okay, I thought I was the assistant, but let's go, And so I learned a lot through it. In the summer league, like we have going on, there's players going in and out. Like today, unfortunately, we have 2 of our college players already in self-quarantine because they go back to college. So it's difficult. Like with the Sorbacks, we had 10 games that we played regular season. I had 10 different rosters, 10 different 18s, 10 different starting lineups. Like you never had really continuity. And there's things I learned through that process. I always said, if I get another chance, I know how to do it better. And thankfully, again, 7 years later, here we are, getting to do this again. But so that was a long story, but that's basically, how I've gotten here. So.
Hey, well, tell us about, a little bit about your soccer style, what we can see from Savannah Spirit. Is there, formation-wise, what you play, what you like to do? You're a press guy up top, type deal. Or you're a 4-flat guy in the back. Kind of tell people when they come and watch your teams, what they should be looking for.
Yeah, great questions. I'm not married to anything as far as system goes. There's different thoughts on that. Obviously, it takes time to implement a system, and you want players to be comfortable with it. My belief has always been, I look at it's kind of a dichotomy. The system and the structure is extremely important. It really is. And depending on the system and structure you use, it's nuanced and where the flip side, the game's about 5 things. This is how I try and teach it, the 5 fundamental things that you have. You have ball, you have space, you have opponents, you have teammates, and goals. The goals are stationary. You could say the lines too. You could even say the referee potentially influences the game a little bit if you wanted, and then the fans. But it's really those 5 things. So what we try and teach the players is how those 5 things interact. So in terms of the game, yeah, we have a structure. We look at our current team or what we have and how we think they might best fit together. But then the game changes and the opponents change. So I'm a bit of an interventionist in a sense that I have no problem changing a system if I need to. Like either the team has a strength that we have to try and mitigate and take away, and that may be a system issue, a structure issue, which again has to do with either a matchup of a player, usually athleticism or skill, or it has to do with space. So if they're occupying certain spaces, we need to deny them occupying those spaces. So your question about the backs, yeah, it could dictate playing with 3 backs, 4 backs. And honestly, that changes depending on, the system. I'll tell you today, our WPSL team will start in like a 3-2-4-1 or like a 3-5. It's a modified 3-2-1, 3-2. But when we're defending deep in our half in front of our goal, we should be defending with a line of 5. When we're attacking, we should actually only have 2 backs at that point in the game. So like your structure actually changes depending on what part of the field you are in, and also even if we're in a system, our structure will change based on, we could play the same system, but how we nuance the movements of occupying these different areas will change based on what the opponent gives us. So like the way I look at it, you take what they give you. If they're going to give you space in behind, you'd be dumb not to try and go over the top and get into space. I mean, if they give it to you, take it, Like I take a lot from other coaches. Like I love Belichick in football, and you watch his stuff and you watch his interviews with his team or his coaches. He's always like, listen, we have to stop the opponent doing these 2 or 3 or 4 things. And then if we take advantage of these 1, 2, or 3 things that they're going to give us, we'll be successful. So, for me, I'm always looking at the game in terms of that. So like today coaching, I'm going to look at our team. How are they executing what we want them to do? Some of the structure and some of the ideas. But while at the same time, I'm going to try and watch the opponent and figure out what they're doing, what their strengths and weaknesses are. Like we don't have a scouting report on them because we never played them before. When we play them again in 2 weeks, we'll have a better idea of what they do, so we can game plan for it a little bit better. So we can prep our players in training. But I'll be an interventionist. The other thing too, and this kind of ties in with the book. The other way we teach the players is we look at the field in terms of 5 vertical channels. So, and this isn't my stuff. This is from, you asked me where my style. I'm a huge fan of Pep Guardiola, Barcelona. Yeah. Pep's, I idolize Pep. I love Klopp. Obviously, Liverpool just, he did it at Dortmund. He just won at Liverpool, yesterday, the day before when City lost. Incredible coaches in terms of their attacking, their pressing, how aggressive they are to get the ball back. That's something we definitely want to do. Now, with that being said, I love Simeone and his style at Atletico Madrid. The way he was the most aggressive, intense player. He on the sideline, like he coaches as if he's playing, and his players take that personality. And he's staunch 4-4-2. They perfect it, and it works, and it's incredible. So I look at it, if the other team is really superior to us in a certain way, or we got to kill a game, like if we have to play deep, like we'll do it. Again, like we do want to win, and part of the tactics that the chess match is, can we set up in a way that takes away what they want to do? I mean, the simplest thing I tell my players, especially defensively, as long as the ball is in front of you, the other team will never score. They only score when they.
Amen, brother. Amen.
It's that simple. I mean, it really is that simple. So, like, when we're defending, just keep the ball in front of you. Now, like, in terms of the game, right, the goals are in the center of the field. So if we can keep them in front of us and wide, they have much less chance of scoring. So don't let them. Now, the flip side, the dangerous area is right in front of goal. My friend and I, Eric Faulkner, we have our company, Half Space Soccer. We wrote these books. We track statistics for all the major leagues in Europe, and we look at where the assists and goals come from. So these ideas, these vertical channels, what we found is Pep and Klopp were saying that they started teaching these players to use the interior channels called the half space, or in German it's Halbraum, and these interior areas. And what we found is that when you got inside the 18 in the half space and played a pass to the center, your chance of scoring went up by like 65%. It was incredible. So we've started to engage the players in these ideas of using these areas of the field over the last few weeks of training. And hopefully today we start to see that come to life, in our play. So.
And you'll listen to the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report live from the Sound Garden on the campus of Coach's Corner. And it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Okay, give us the specifics for tonight so the fans can know what they need to do, where they need to go. And we're talking to the Savannah Spirit Women's Premier Soccer League team, Chris Davidovich. Let us know where they got to go tonight and what they got to do.
Yeah, we're really blessed. I mean, we get to use Benedictine Military School, which is an incredible facility in turf field. It's actually cooler than most turf fields. I think it's just designed to be cooler, which is great. We trained Jennifer Ross, and gosh, last Sunday we checked the temperature. The turf was 150 degrees, so like my feet were literally burning off. So yeah, incredible. Tickets are free. We're really fortunate with some of our sponsors. Chatham Orthos are our flagship sponsor, and we've also partnered up with Camp Sunshine for this match. So everybody can get in for free to the game. There's no cost. We do offer the opportunity to donate to Camp Sunshine, which is a great cause. Again, that's a big part of the vision for the club with DJ and Josh have really set out that we want to be involved with. This isn't just about soccer. It's not about just wins and losses, but being, having a positive impact on our community. So yeah, the Futures game starts at 5:30, and then the first team, the WPSL team, will kick off at 7:30.
Well, Chris, I'm glad that the hookup was much better, and I'm sorry that I had a typo in your email. So that was the coach's fault. Besides, getting everything set up, and he's over at Calvary setting up camp. So we put this thing together really quick, but I apologize. Great job. I hope to see you tonight, and good luck, and it should be a lot for fun.
Absolutely. Thanks,
I got one last question. All right, because I see, you said you're a huge stock market guy. So you got any stock tips for us? I'm dabbling Robinhood.
I've got Robinhood. I use SoFi for all my ETFs. Honestly, truthfully, like longer term, this is no joke. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I want to put that out there. Disclaimer, please. I'm not a fiduciary. Just me and you, man. Just me and you. But I really love Kathy Wood. I think she is brilliant. Her fund's the ARC fund. She's got a host of them. She's really into like disruptive technologies. Like one company I literally bought yesterday called Workhorse. She just made a huge investment in it. They're in like the electronic vehicle truck space. They have huge contracts like UPS, USPS. The electronic vehicle is like the future. I did really well in Nicola 2 weeks ago. But
is Workhorse a stock?
Yeah, Workhorse is a company. Yeah. Yeah, gosh, I think they were on. Yesterday was a huge red day. I think they were up 50% yesterday. But no, as far as ETFs, again, because you can trade them, but I'm long on them. All of her stuff. She's got, I think, 5 or 6 ETFs, and fintech and disruptive technology. She's big into Tesla, which I am too. So I don't think you can go wrong with Tesla. But yeah, it's ARKK, ARKW, ARKF is the fintech, ARKG. Check them out. She does videos on YouTube every week on Fridays, talks about her investments in the market. Like, she is incredible. She's brilliant. So whatever she says, I trust implicitly. And she did take a big position in Workhorse, we found out, which I got into yesterday, and I did all right on it. So, but I'm long on it. I'm long on that. I'm not short on that in any way. That's not a flip. We're holding that one for the long term. So.
All right. Well, he wrote down his notes about the stock market. Hopefully, the strategy pays out tonight. Thanks, Chris, for coming on. And once again, tonight at Benedictine Military School at 5:30, we have the Savannah Spirit Future Games, and at 7:30, we have the Premier Team, which 3 local girls are in: Martinez, O'Hearn, and Farmer. Right?
Yeah, we got 2 O'Hearns. The sisters out there will both start for us. Yeah. A ton of local talent. It's incredible. And the younger players, we have some great future players that have come into. I think our youngest will be 14 on the field. So playing against.
All right, good luck.
So thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
I mean, does that guy have a plethora of knowledge? I love the word plethora. I mean, abundant pub food. Just the knowledge of the game. And I know you and him can get together and probably spend 8 hours talking about, a 3-5-1 and a 4-4-2 and a 6-6 warrior. You're blowing my mind on that one, buddy.
It's fun. I love talking shop with coaches, and the fact that he was talking about, the channel play and different things. So he's right. The game has changed a little bit as well, to where, if you break it down, everybody traditionally still thinks, hey, you got to get the ball wide, you got to get to the flanks, and you got to get it across the score. But, getting wide's great, and that creates the space. But what he's talking about, what you're seeing is more the interior runs are coming back through the middle, and he's right. I mean, that's what we tell our kids all the time. Defensively, hey, man, we're trying to build a mountain. We're trying to force everybody from the inside out. As long as we don't get broken down in the middle of the field, especially inside the 18, they're not going to score. Kind of same thing in basketball.
Same thing in basketball, same thing in football. You want to force everything to the outside. Build football, you really want to come back to the middle because that's where everybody is. So maybe it's the opposite. American football, not the real football.
But I'm a 3-5-2 guy. But the great thing I love about 3-5-2 when I was at Stetson with Sean Murphy is we can adapt that, like he said, out of different things and expand it. So I know we got another guy we got to get to. Sorry, man, we talk soccer forever.
And our next guest, the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week, Jackson Schaff out of Benedictine Military School on their clay sports shooting team. Then the Forest City Gun Club junior sports shooting team. The kid had a phenomenal season. He's waiting next. So like everything else, we have no time limit. So we're going to give all the guests their due. So you're listening to the Coach N,
the AD,
right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report from the Sound Garden at Coach's Corner on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We'll be right back after this, after we thank our sponsors.
I'm buying some stock.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner, but remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night at Soundgarden, it's the Head Games, a tribute band to Foreigner. Tickets on Eventbrite are $15 to $40. And remember, make it a night at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more, From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too, every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, and are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
We're back.
We're back. Oh, sorry. Hey, good morning, sports fans. It's the coach, Karl DeMasi, and the AD Chad Griffin right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. And it's all on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, okay? And we got 20 things going on here. He's looking at stocks. I'm looking at pictures, trying to get kids on here. But we're at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week. My favorite part of the show, and I don't care what anybody says, it's all about the kids. It's all about local sports and what's going on. But this is my favorite spot, okay? This young man, okay, is from Benedictine Military School and the Forest City Gun Club Junior Sports Shooting Team. Okay, he's a rising junior BC. He began shooting at a young age. I mean, as a sophomore, he finished in a tie, second overall at the Georgia Independent State Association State Championship clay shooting event. He shot a 98 in skeet. I guess that's out of 100. 92 in sporting. He'll tell us what that is. Yeah. And I know what trap shooting is, and 93 in trap shooting for a total of 283 points out of 300. It's pretty good in bowling. I guess that's pretty good in clay sports shooting. I mean, he made the 2019 Georgia Independent School State Association state team, clay sporting team. What more can I say? Joining us live on the Coach's Corner, not hot seat, but on the Coach's Corner internet stream from Benedictine Military School, Jackson Schaaf. Here we go. Jackson, how's it going? Jackson, can you go a little louder? You're still very low. Just take your time. We got time.
Yeah, you're good. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to increase that microphone volume.
All right.
There you go.
Did that fix it?
How's it going? Take your time with the internet connection. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
All right, I can hear you now.
There we go. There we go.
I couldn't hear you for a minute. There we go.
Come on. You did Zoom meetings at school, didn't you? So, all right. Well, we're glad to have you on, and we're glad that, you've had such a successful season at Benedictine, and, of course, with the Forest City Gun Club. When did you get involved in this sport? I mean, it's becoming a very popular sport, right?
I mean, I started back about 2 years ago, and I think it's growing pretty fast.
You've only started shooting guns 2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So how did you get involved in it?
Right as I was going into high school.
Were your friends doing it? Your parents? Who introduced you to the sport?
Put out an email and said that they were going to start. If you wanted to.
Well, looking at all this and looking at your accomplishments,
it's a little laggy. I'm sorry. It's
His internet's just a little bit behind.
You're in a good spot with the internet connection?
I wonder if he wants to come back on his phone and try it.
Are you using a laptop or a computer?
It's hard to hear y'all.
Jackson, are you using a laptop or a computer?
Is it fixed?
All right, take your time. Are you on a laptop?
I'm gonna see if I can. Here, there. I think it's working now.
Yeah, it's still behind.
I think it fixed the internet.
Okay, are you on your own laptop or are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone. I don't have a laptop.
Okay.
But it's working now though.
Okay, just let's keep on going with it. Okay, so only 2 years shooting. What can you attribute to the success of your shooting ability?
I mean, great coaches. Spend a lot of time. I come out here almost every week. Almost every day. It's a lot of practice.
And so talk to us about, I mean, people think that shooting a gun is easy. And it might be from like A to B, trying to shoot something in a straight line, but trying to shoot something that's a moving target that's going at a different speed, you got to have great hand-eye coordination. I think, from what I've read about sporting clays and the people that are successful, your hand-eye coordination has to be phenomenal. Is there certain things that you do when you practice that helps train your hand-eye coordination?
Oh yeah, like you have to make sure you're moving slow, keep it fast. If you don't, you'll just blow past the targets. You won't be wrong. It's just some people are good and some people got to work harder than others to get to it.
Well, it seems like you picked it up pretty quick. And, being part of the Forest City Gun Club junior sports shooting team and the Benedictine clay sporting team, I mean, winning back-to-back championships in the Georgia Independent School Association is something special. How did you feel about that?
Well, the first year I was new to it. It was only my first year shooting, and I wasn't the best. I didn't feel like I contributed to it. But then this year, I wanted my scores to contribute to the win, and they did when I finally did better.
I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
All right,
Pretty
a
good.
perfect score is 100?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you shot 283 out of 300. I mean, unbelievable, I guess, match you would call it. When you were there, how did it feel like when you shot the 98, the 93, and the other score you had to finish in second place? And you finished behind a good teammate of yours, right?
I mean, it felt great. I didn't believe it myself at first. I didn't think I was going to end up doing that well. You just got to go in trying to do your best.
Hey, well, tell us. I know with Forest City Gun Club,
try not to overthink.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what happens sometimes with athletes. You just kind of overthink. But obviously, you're letting, this is a very repetition type sport, and so obviously, the more you do it, and your hand-eye coordination continues to grow and get better. Talk a little bit about Forest City Gun Club, and aren't you guys going to is Nationals next week or the week after? You guys are going somewhere pretty big in a week.
Yes, sir. We're going to Nationals in 2 weeks.
Where's that at?
And it'll hopefully be more fun because we don't know how the virus is. It's Ohio. Columbus, Ohio.
Well, who's your coaches at Forest City Gun Club?
Jackson, are you there? He's at the gun club right now.
All right.
There we go. We can hear you.
Good now.
All right. Did you catch Coach Griffin's question?
Who's your coaches at the gun club?
I didn't.
Try to get.
It's hard to hear.
All right. I was going to check in to see who your coaches were at the gun club.
Can you repeat that?
Okay. You've had a lot of success. Coach Griffin asked you, tell us about your coaches, who they are and how they've helped you.
Well, there's 3 mainly, 4 really. Lee Summerford, he helps give me opportunities like this. He coordinates where we're squatted with our Gorettis, he's really helped me get basics and help push forward more. Chuck Dixon, he's my sporting clays coach. He's helped a lot with that. I work with him every week. And then I've been fortunate enough to work with Zach Ingbaum, a professional shooter. He comes out here sometimes.
And you're listening to the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here at Coach's Corner in the Sound Garden on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We're talking to our Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week, Jackson Schaaf from Benedictine Military School and the Forest City Gun Club Junior Sports Shooting Team. All right, tell us about your family. How big has your family been involved in you being so successful so quick in the sport of clay shooting?
Oh, they've been very supportive. My dad takes me everywhere. He takes me to come practice. He takes me to all these tournaments that are all over the state. Helps pay for all that. I've had to help a couple times.
Big time.
Well, man, you seem like a.
My mom will come out here. She'll pull for me. My sister's done it.
Well, man, you just seem like a great, humble kid, and the fact that you've only been doing this for 2 years.
I didn't catch that.
You're just a great, humble young man, and for you to only be doing this 2 years, I mean, I know people who, have been doing this their whole life and are not near as good at what you've done in the last 2 years, man. So we're excited about seeing your future. We're excited about, how this continues to grow. You're only a
rising junior.
And so you got 2 more years to continue to develop, and hopefully, we can get you back on with another connection,
a better connection,
and talk about your future in sporting clays, and hey, can you do this in college? That's something you want to do collegiately. But man, great having you on. We appreciate you. Like I said, we'll catch up with you again and get you a good connection.
Jackson, did you hear us? Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, Jackson, we appreciate you coming on. If you hear me, I will get with you and your parents. We'll redo this again, so don't take it as you did something wrong. Yeah. And I know the Forest City Gun Club, I've been invited out there twice to shoot those guns, shotguns, whatever they are.
How'd that go for you?
And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I finally hit one target after like 60 tries. But anyway, or one clay, whatever they call it, a duck, whatever they call it. You know what they call it? I don't know what they call it either. But anyway, we'll get back with you. We appreciate you coming on. Once again, Jackson Schaaf, okay? We'll get him back on another time, and I really do apologize. Bad connection, and it's all based on the internet connection. So we'll get that young man back on. Just a phenomenal season. Georgia Independent School State Association, all-state team. So and he's only been doing it for 2 years.
That's what amazes me more than anything else, Karl, is like we know kids that have been doing this their whole life.
Right.
And adults have been doing this their whole life.
Right.
And I mean, like I said, you've been out there to do it. And
right.
It ain't easy.
No, it's not.
It's
a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
And I'm glad the other guy paid for everything.
Yeah. I mean,
it's expensive.
It's an expensive sport. And that's where Daniel Defense and others, and the NRA and others have been great at helping students get into this and
their scholarships.
And scholarships for it. From that standpoint, But yeah, man, the hand-eye coordination that you got to have is pretty phenomenal to do this. And I watch kids all the time. We have kids at Calvary do it. There's other kids that do it all across Chatham County now. And the biggest tournaments come to Savannah. I mean, Savannah is a hub, guys, for sporting clays.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Some of the biggest tournaments in the country come here because of what we have down here. So once again, another notch in Savannah's belt for things we're able to do down here.
All right. Well, next up, we had the Georgia High School State Association say that they're going to implement the 30-second clock. This man's been playing with a 30-second clock. He's been coaching with a 30-second clock. He knows a lot about it. And, of course, they had the Georgia Bulldog coach, Tom Crane, come into the meeting and talk to the Georgia High School State officials. Well, he's going to talk to Savannah about how the shot clock will affect the game. And that's the head ball coach, 15 years already over at Savannah State. I can't believe it. National championship basketball player, NCAA with the Georgetown Hoyas. I know we're going back a while there, but I love watching him, even though he did a number on my St. John Johnnies. And that's, of course, Horace Broadnext will be up next right here with the coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, all on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We just got to thank our sponsors. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner, but remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night in Soundgarden, it's the Head Games, a tribute band to Foreigner. Tickets on Eventbrite are $15 to $40. And remember, make it a night at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Coach and AD. It's Saturday morning. I'm glad you could join us. It's right here in the Soundgarden on the campus of Coach's Corner. And once again, just great to get this man on. He's been basketball, been his whole life, out of Florida, made a big name for himself at Georgetown, got into the little law business, but he decided that coaching was his calling. And I mean,
it happens.
What better way to get this guy on and to talk about how the shot clock's going to impact high school basketball. Joining us on the Coach's Corner internet stream is the head ball coach over at Savannah State, the head men's coach, Horace Broadnex. Coach, thanks for coming on. Coach, your microphone is muted.
Okay.
Try it now.
Just trying to get used to this high-tech stuff being at home, so. It's good to be here. I'm getting used to this Zooming and WebExing, and I guess this is a Steam yard, so that's new to me. So, but hopefully we can have a good show this morning. You can hear me?
Yeah, I mean, everything's going to social. Yeah, we can hear you. Everything's going to social media, and this is the best way I could do it. When because of the coronavirus, I was not going to be on the radio anymore. So you know what? I'm going to find a way to keep going. This is like our 12th show on the internet, so it's been a lot of fun. So my question to you is, though, Savannah State, coronavirus, Moorhead dropping their fall sports program. What's the situation over there for you guys? And I know I've heard Sean Quinn say that the new president and OPO have been doing a great job supporting you guys. What's your thoughts about this whole thing?
Well, we just taking the lead from our administration, and we're basically just trying to make sure that we do everything correctly. So I think Quinn and the football program is preparing to come back, and we're preparing to come back with this in place. So, how we're going to social distancing in the locker room, practice. I may have to do my practices a little bit different. I would probably break my groups down in the 5 or 6 and have them come into the locker room at each time, as opposed to having all 15 guys in the locker room. So it's just like basketball coaching, period. You have to make adjustments. Whatever the situation presents itself, we just have to make different type of adjustments to go forward and make sure that we're keeping everybody safe.
Well, Coach, obviously you've now been at Savannah State 15 years. What has embraced you to Savannah and Savannah State? Because coaching, especially early on, I coached in college for about 5 or 6 years, and I moved 3 times in about 18 months. What is it about Savannah State and Savannah in general that's kept you here? Say, hey, I'm going to settle here. I'm going to be here, raise my family here.
Well, in coaching, they said you're always going to get fired eventually. All coaches eventually get fired. So I've been extremely blessed. I've been extremely blessed, extremely lucky. It's been a great town to be in. Every time I meet people who talk about Savannah, they never have anything bad to say about it. It's a destination town as far as tourists is concerned. So, but I've been lucky. I've seen a lot of guys in my position, the head coaches that have lost their jobs, and I look at their situations, and I just been lucky, because I tell my assistant coaches sometimes, I said, just put Savannah State and Horace Broadneck's name in that report that the person got fired. And, we've been very lucky, and I think people, we had some success, and it was time. But like I say, lucky and blessed. And I had a couple of opportunities to leave, but like you said, I had 2 young boys that I wanted to raise. My wife was here, so I didn't want to uproot the family, and Savannah was good to me. It still is good to me.
Yeah, and I know the 2 young boys are probably the best athletes, part of the best athletes that are ever going to come out of Savannah. Of course, Trey's up at the Naval Academy. He'll get a shot this year with the basketball program, and Trent's just off the chart with football, basketball, baseball, track, whatever he's doing. So, it's definitely been great for them. And your wife is, first class, works for Savannah County Public Schools principal. So it's just been fun watching you guys. And I remember way back when I was watching Trey play basketball in middle school, and you walked in the gym and we talked, and it was a lot of fun. But so on the other side of the fact is Georgia High School State Association finally came up that we're going to have a 30-second clock. Now, you've been dealing with the 30-second clock your whole coaching career. I don't know if did they have it way back in when you played college basketball too?
They had my senior year 45-second shot clock.
Okay.
We lost to the game in Villanova, and a lot of times we were stalling. Coaches would stall the basketball, get a lead, and stall. So I think the NCAA implemented it, and I think the fall of 1986.
Now, if you have any, first of all, tell us how it's going to impact the game.
I think it's going to be great for high school basketball. I'm going to be excited to go see some of these games. And, just from a scoring perspective and from a fan perspective, it's going to, put more tempo into the game. And it's going to challenge the local coaches to come up with different strategies. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be exciting because you're going to have a good pace. You're going to get more possessions, tempo. So it's going to be a high-scoring game. So hopefully we'll get some good teams to go against one another, and the scores may be in the high 80s to the high 90s.
Well, talking about transition, you guys have transitioned your philosophy over the years. I don't think the shot clock ever runs out on Savannah State basketball. I don't think you probably have had a shot clock violation in the last couple of years. Tell us about that mentality. And that's the great thing about coaching is, the good coaches and the great coaches look at what's going on around them and change and adapt. And you've done that. So tell us, what was that point where you looked up and said, you know what, we're going to start doing this because this makes most sense. You talked about, possessions. Talk everybody through, what was your mentality and what was it that you looked at and said, hey, we're going to change our philosophy here in basketball and start doing this?
Well, it kind of started when I think we had had some restrictions from the NCAA as far as being able to go to the NCAA playoffs. So we were kind of like banned from participating in our conference. And I just didn't want to have the players diminish, have their attitude diminish at the end of the season. So I wanted to have it kind of fun. So we just started trying to pick up the pace and make them more connected. And we just started pushing it, and it started kind of being fun in the sense that you try to dominate the game on one end of the court, and I was a defensive guy, so we just try to dominate the game on the defensive end and try to wear people down. So I just flipped the script and said, hey, let's try to dominate it on the offensive end and at the same time try to wear people down. So with a good tempo and having guys in shape and not worrying about missing shots and not worrying about guys taking bad shots, because we define the bad shot as not taking a good shot. And I used to look at it, and we wanted to take the shot at the end of the shot clock because we wanted to cut the game down. We wanted to cut the game down and try to compete against these high Division I schools. So we changed and we played fast, we played quick, and a lot of times it gave us a better opportunity to compete against the bigger programs. So that's one of the reasons that I enjoy doing it. Then obviously you've seen Golden State Warriors space it out, shoot it, and then you give these guys the freedom and the confidence. You want guys to shoot the ball, so you just tell them, hey, I'm not going to take you out for taking a bad shot. I may take you out for not taking a good shot when it was presented to you, and then you look to get something better and turn the ball over. So it's fun. I think the kids like it, but at the end of the day, it's still a lot of hard work because you have to be in tremendous shape in order to pace a game and try to wear your opponent down.
Now, they're playing with a 45-second clock in college, right?
When that was my senior year in college, but now they cut it down to 45 to 35 to 30. So we're playing with 30. Hopefully they'll cut it to 24 like the NBA.
Well, that's what we're working on players towards. How will this benefit the players? I mean, you go out and recruit players, and your style now is, I know you and I don't know if this young guy can relate to Paul Westhood in Loyola College way back when with Mr. Hank Gathers, which was a shame. But what can you tell the coaches? What do they need to do to deal with this?
Well, it's just preparation. I mean, it depends on what your style is going to be. It's still a lot of coaches that'll shoot at the end of the shot clock 30 seconds. So if a guy wants to control the game, he'll figure out a way to control the game. But I think it's going to be interesting. It's just an addition to the game where coaches got to think, and that's what we like to do anyway. We like to tinker with things and try to take away the opposing coach's style or impose our style. So I think the 30-second shot clock is going to be great for the guys who like to score the ball, and then even guys who like to try to cut the game in half or cut the possessions down. It'll just be the same, coach. You'll shoot at the bottom of the shot clock, and that's how I used to do. I said, hey, at the bottom of the shot clock, we're shooting under 10. We're going to execute. We're going to pass the ball around, and then we're going to look to score at 10. So I think you'll have coaches that, like myself, I'll try to speed them up on the defensive side. I might not play aggressive defense, but try to give them better shots, good looking shots, so they could take the shot. So we could get up and go down the floor. So I think it's going to be great. It's going to help the kids think the game of basketball. It's going to help the high school coaches to expand what they do as coaches. So I think it's positive because we need to line up with the NBA, and everybody needs to line up. I think we need to go to 4 quarters eventually so that everything is on the same page. So everybody's doing the same thing, and everybody could be better.
Well, Coach, you talked about that in trying to get college to NBA, and you've seen women's college basketball go to 4 quarters. What's holding the men's programs back from doing that? They're the last holdout of that system. So what is it, or what's going on in the men's game in NCAA that's holding them back from going to the 4 quarters like everyone else is now?
I think everybody gets used to doing, get in a rhythm, and it's kind of hard to change. I think we've been talking about it a lot, and they've been watching the women's game. So I think eventually it's coming, but it just, you just like the 20 minutes and first half, second half, you're just comfortable with it. It's almost like a good pair of tennis shoes. I know playing as a basketball player, once I broke a good pair of tennis shoes, man, it was hard for me to get rid of them, even if it was stuffed up. So I think that's a tradition, just tradition and feeling good about it. But I think because I played it in high school, so it would be interesting to go back to the 4 quarters, and then it'll give us the opportunity for the break and the coach the team up a little bit.
And I'm going to go back to your philosophy now of most coaches will wait to the end of the 30-second clock. But your philosophy now is to get more up than less up. That's more shots than less shots. Yeah. I mean, if I put more shots up, there's a better chance I'm going to score more baskets, right? So wouldn't that be the philosophy that you think most coaches would like to go with?
Yeah, I think you have to really buy into putting shots up because it used to be, hey, man, don't take that shot. That's a bad shot. Do not take that shot. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Do not take that shot. So you have to really, if it's ingrained in you to guard and to shoot at the bottom of the shot clock, it's hard to change. But I think it frees you as a coach and it frees the players up when you could allow them to take shots. And and that's what our practices was all about. We're getting up shots. We'll start warming up, and then we'll start doing full court drills based on getting shots up. And it's a combination of getting shots up and running. So yeah, it feels good until, it could be real ugly at times playing this system if the shots are not going in and the opposing team is hitting shots. And I think I forget this game last year. It was ridiculous. South Dakota State, if I'm not mistaken. I think they scored 99 points in the first half, and we might have scored 40. So it was ideal of how I wanted to see a basketball game, but I was on the wrong side of that. I think they were knocking down threes. They were getting up, and it was a beautiful sight to see if it was on my side. But that's how the game is. That you got to accept the ugly part of it. And I think if coaches can't accept the ugly part of it, then they need to stick with what they feel comfortable with. So it's fun. It's fun when it's clicking. It's a beautiful thing to see, but it can get ugly at times.
Well, Coach, I just want to ask, especially in this day and age, it would seem like from a recruiting standpoint, like kids would be pretty excited about playing in your system. How's it impacted you recruiting? One is it changed the type of kid you go after? Obviously, if you're running up and down the floor, maybe the big man doesn't exist, as much as it used to from that standpoint, and when you go to recruit kids, say, listen, we expect you to shoot. That's what every, I think, kid wants to hear. You know, it's like, hey, I'm going to be able to cut it loose. You're going to trust me to shoot. How's that impacted you, Savannah State recruiting? And my second part of that is, man, Savannah State, I've always believed is like a hidden treasure. I think you got a great facility to play in, probably one of the best in your conference. How is, you know, one, being in Savannah, two, your facility, and three, your system impact recruiting?
Oh yeah, I mean everybody's interested in it. When we initiated that first year, we were scoring the basket a lot. You know, we were definitely getting a lot of phone calls from a lot of kids and getting interested in that. Hey, we're gonna let you play. You know, if you can put the ball in the basket, we're gonna give you the opportunity to score. And then if you're good at scoring, then you're gonna have an opportunity to put the ball in the basket. And you know, when we first initiated the system, what was so good about it and how we used to recruit, we had a couple of players to leave, you know, and I didn't try to hold players back because we had one player to go to South Alabama, and he was a freshman. He was a walk-on freshman. We didn't give him a scholarship. He came, walked on, and he had a great game against Oregon State. Beat Oregon State. I think he scored 26 points, 15 rebounds. Had a great game, and he left. So that was our recruiting tool. Say, hey, you come in here, put up good numbers, and the bigger programs want you. Then, hey, by all means, we're not going to hold you back. So from that perspective, it was great for recruiting. And then at the same time, we do have a great facility. Savannah is a great small town. You know, it's good. You know, I think. You know, I kind of wish that we would have stayed Division I, but that was above me. And I think that you know, the system and being in Savannah and the gym was going to allow us to expand and grow and get better. But I think as we stay here in the SIAC and the Division II program as the years progress, things are going to get real good here in the Division II level.
And how do you feel about this year's Tiger squad coming into the 2020-21 season?
Well, I feel a lot better than I felt last year. I mean, initially, November and December was rough for us last year, and just trying to fill out, you know, it was just a total different team. A last minute we had to kind of put together, was trying to hold on to the team that we had. But, you know, dropping from Division II to Division I allows your players to transfer without any consequences. And, you know, we basically lost three solid players, one to South Carolina State, another to Albany University out of New York, which if we could have kept, we would have had a tremendous team. So I had 10, 12 new players that I had to fill out. And November and December, it was a rough year, but when we got to January and February and March, the team was pretty good. So I got my core coming back. I got the starting five from last year that they'll be back. We got a couple of guys on the bench coming off the bench to be back. So we'll have a total of 8 to 9 guys coming back that I know. They know me. They know my restrictions. They know my limitations. I know their strengths, and they know their limitations. So it's going to be good to be able to hit the ground running and not necessarily teach as much, and just be a lot of refreshing, and guys will get to know one another. So got a little bit of expectations this year because I've been through the league, know the coaches a little bit, know the opposing gyms, got a feel for the strengths and weaknesses of the conference and the opposing. So we're looking exciting, and recruiting is going well. We're trying to add some people to the mix and try to get a little bit more depth so we can do a little bit more running and scoring.
Coach, appreciate you taking the time on a Saturday morning to come on and talk about the 30-second clock and what's going on over there at Savannah State with the men's basketball program. And love what you're doing. Love watching the Tigers play. And, you know, I'm a firm believer, too. I love the three-point shot. So, you know, you want to chuck it up. And like you said, but know when it's a good time to chuck it up, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, if you look at the 30-second shot clock and people take the shot clock going down, I done seen a lot of people take bad shots at the end of the shot clock, and they give up good shots. So I say if a good shot presents itself early, why not take it? So
you got it, Coach.
I like it, man.
That's
so
like,
if you get them the definition of a good shot and it presents itself early, take it.
I agree with you. Appreciate it. And tell Trey, tell Trent. I look forward to coaching against Trent. I know it's going to be a job trying to stop him, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And tell the missus hello.
I will. It was fun, Carl. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate what you're doing, man.
Anytime, Coach. You're welcome.
Appreciate it. I'll take that up.
I got to come pick your brain out, too.
You ain't gonna find too much.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
I mean, he loves his job. He loves Savannah, Georgia. His family has prospered. His sons are class acts, respectful, great students. I mean, so, him and Tammy have done a great job, whether it be with their family or whether they be at Savannah State, be it wherever Tammy is the principal. So just a great family to call from the 912, the SAV.
I just love, his mentality and great coaches adapt to the systems, and you've seen that. And, we'll get him back on because I want to talk to him about, places they played and programs and those sort of things we, can get into. But I love the fact that, hey, he's adapted, and listen, that's what kids want to do.
Yep.
You look at the NBA.
They want to shoot.
You look at Steph Curry and these guys, but he said, listen, you got to be in tremendous physical shape. Yep. You still got to defend. You still got to be able to do these things. But offensively, we're going to attack.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to attack and go shoot, man. And that's what kids want to do.
Hey, I love the concept.
I love it, man.
Get more shots up, better chance of scoring.
That's why Roy Williams in North Carolina does it. And I wanted to ask him, so you got that end, and then you got like UVA, who is that grinded, like we're going to slow down. We're going to take 29 and a half seconds off that clock, and that aggravates the full out teams as well. Because every time North Carolina plays Virginia, I'm like, golly, this is going to be a 50 to 45 game.
It's not a fan favorite. That's for sure.
It's not. I love seeing North Carolina and Savannah State there, like run up and down the floor, shoot threes, attacking the basket. And then you play, where it's Cuse or UVA, it's like, man, this is a grinded out game.
Of course, I'm a little older than Coach there, but growing up watching Rick Pitino at Providence and what he did with that program by shooting those 3-pointers.
Yeah.
And of course, Paul Westwood out at Loyola. I love the 3-point shot. I love taking a lot of shots. And I'm at fault. Sometimes I would take a kid out because I thought it was a bad shot. When Coach just said, it's not a bad shot. You just got to know when you're taking it. You got to take that good shot, and don't pass up the good shot.
Yeah, if it presents itself in the first 5-10 seconds of the possession, shoot it. That's what he's going to tell you. Is like, hey, if you're not taking the shot when it needs to be shot, then you'll come over and sit with me, and we're going to talk about it. But that's right, man. It's changing mentality and philosophy, and it will change our coaches' philosophy here in the state of Georgia in the next 2 years.
And I'll be first one to tell you, I've been at fault why I stopped shooting. I don't know, and pull the ball out and run Dean Smith's 4 corners, which wound up biting me at the end of the game. So, basketball, I love basketball, coaching basketball, because I can be the offensive coach and I can be the defensive coach, where other sports you can't do that.
No.
You got to have someone helping you with the other sports. But me personally, I'm not going to second guess myself. Situation, that's what I did, and that's the outcome.
Yeah.
So, great philosophy. I love watching Savannah State.
They are fun to watch, man, going up and down the floor. It's fun over there.
Well, next up, we got to talk to the other member of the Coach's Corner Sports Network family. They've been doing this for 4 years. I love watching it every Wednesday night. Dan Foles, Brandon Bain. They go back and forth. Dan Foles is as honest as he could be. I'm just here to make sure I drive the show the right way, but the other guy has all the knowledge. And then he adds my little buddy, PJ Zuko, to the mix on Sunday mornings. It's just a great show. And I love race car driving. I grew up where we went to the dirt track every Friday night, demolition derby, you name it, they did it. And back then they didn't have all these safety devices either.
Oh, no, it's crash and burn.
And I hate to tell you, we say that baseball is America's pastime. We say that basketball, race car driving, horse racing, car racing, that's America's pastime.
Car racing, man. They'll tell you Junior Johnson running moonshine back roads in North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee. That's what I was about, especially in the South.
So next up, the other show, Rubbin' and Grubbin'. I love the grubbin' part too. Rubbin' is with the car. Grubbin' is what they grub off of John Henderson here in Adele here. So we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk to Dan Foles and the producer, Lawrence Bennett. Brandon Bain is on the road. He's on his way back here to good old SAV, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Next up, Rubbin' and Grubbin' right here with the coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report in the Sound Garden on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. But we have to thank our sponsors, because without them, this wouldn't happen. So sit tight for about 3 minutes. I'm trying to get my commercial right here. Here we go. Thank you to our sponsors.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner, but remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night at Soundgarden, it's the Head Games, a tribute band to Foreigner. Tickets on Eventbrite are $15 to $40. And remember, make it a night at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
Good morning, Savannah. It's a Saturday morning. I appreciate you listening to us, whether it be for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever segment you want to listen to. But it's the coach and the AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report in the Soundgarden on the campus of Coach's Corner, and it's all on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. I know that's a lot to say to bring us back, but I got to give John Henderson his due. I mean,
no doubt, man.
12 weeks ago, I didn't have a radio show. So I came to John. I said, John, do you mind me doing the show on the internets, okay, as I would say, okay, but that's the New Yorker in me, in the Soundgarden. He says, Coach, I love your show. You're promoting local sports. Let's do this. And then I started finding out that, there was another show that's been here doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the fringe benefits. They come to talk about race car driving or race car, NASCAR or racing cars, which I love. And they get to talk about food in one of their segments. Where's our food?
I don't know. I know when we were here doing the show, the plate that was rolled out to them looked amazing.
Amazing.
And we got to start doing some product placement.
Yes.
Like those guys do on their show. They got product placement.
I'm going with the Agua, so
everywhere.
Yeah, they got a lot of product. They got adult beverages.
So we're gonna start being Ricky Bobby on here and be like, Diet Mountain Dew, sponsor of the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Coach's Corner here. We're gonna start doing some of that because those guys have it on lockdown.
And you got the aroma coming through here right now. The kitchen's open. They're barbecuing. They're grilling. Ooh. You want to name it? They're doing it. But every Wednesday night, from 5:30 to whenever they finish, just like we do here on Saturday morning, starting at 9:00. It's the Rubbin' and Grubbin' Show with Dan Foles and Brandon Bain and the man behind the scenes, Lawrence Bennett. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner Internet stream, we got 2 of the 3, Dan Foles and Lawrence Bennett. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, you know, watching you guys every Wednesday night and watching what Lawrence does behind
We're just waiting on Lawrence, but hey, thanks for having me.
Lawrence is here.
We have a lot of fun.
You have a lot of fun. And of course, Brandon Bain,
that's
he's on
the man
road
behind the camera. That's the brain.
So Dan has a little lag there.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Coach, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. And you guys?
We're doing great.
So where's Brandon?
Doing good. Hey, I normally do it. Brandon is driving back from vacation, and since I normally do the talking, I'm going to sit here and shut up and let Lawrence tell the story.
Oh, no. I'm the wizard behind the scenes.
Well, let's start it and tell everybody. The man behind the scenes that gets all the fringe benefits also. So how did this all start? How did you guys come up with doing a NASCAR show and getting free food? Oh, sorry.
Well, Coach, you know, you said we've been doing it for 4 years. We've been doing it for 4 months.
4 months? I thought you've been doing it for 4 years.
No, we just started in February. And I tell you what, when the COVID hit and they stopped NASCAR, do you know how hard it is to do a show with about NASCAR with no NASCAR?
Yeah, it's
very difficult. Luckily, I've got 2 great guys, Dan and Brandon. They're awesome, I tell you.
So how'd you come up with this concept?
It's just something, you know, Dan and Brandon are in a little game of skill that we do with NASCAR where we may or may not bet money. But, you know, we don't know a lot about NASCAR. Dan, even though he's been around it, he doesn't know a lot. But there's a kid who really knows a lot. And we were picking his brain and you know, Dan said, hey, this would be a good, there's a show here. And I'm fat. So I said, you know, how about we've got to have food in there. And is that about right, Dan?
That's it. You got it, Big Daddy.
You got to love Dan's voice. He is a host of any show, and especially with this race car stuff. And he'll tell you, he's got to go to his chicken soup encyclopedia about NASCAR. But you know what? Him and Brandon Bain hit it off so good. I mean, so Dan, I mean, you love doing this. What is your passion behind NASCAR? How did you get into this? We got a little lag on you, Dan.
So I got about half of that question. I'm sorry. I'm over in Kalawasi Island, South Carolina right now, and the Wi-Fi, it's Hargray. It's not so great. So what happened was, as we have been doing for 4 years, as our game of skill on Wednesday nights, and so for the last 4 years, I would look over at Brandon Bain and I'd ask him a question like, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? How's this work? How's that work? And Brandon is this, I mean, he's a young guy, but he's got a tremendous amount of knowledge. So I said, let's just do this show. And as luck would, we got about NASCAR in America stopped. All of a sudden they were doing the iRacing, the simulation race. Had that. Really, what this is all about is we love Coach's Corner. We love John Henderson, who is the most generous soul you're ever going to come across.
Yes, he is.
And we want to get more people to come to Coaches.
Well, that makes perfect.
If that makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. You're right. John is one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. And what they did when COVID hit and how they stayed open and the service they provided to everyone was just first class. And you come out here in the Sound Garden, you know, the bands, everybody. I mean, this is a hometown community place. And I tell people every time they come to Savannah, like, hey, where can I go to get entertainment? Where can I go to get great food? When can I go? I was like, you got to go to Coach's Corner. They got everything. You got music. You got TVs out the wazoo. You got sports even when sports wasn't going on, they find something sport to put up and put on. And you're right. This is just a great place to be. It's a great family atmosphere. They got something for everybody, you know. But let's talk about the NASCAR part. Your cohort that's not on here. Talk about him and his background and his knowledge with NASCAR.
Okay, well, when he was a little kid, his dad, Bart Bain, who is also very knowledgeable, to his first race. His story is there's a lot of similar stories about others who like NASCAR, take their kids to a race, and the kid grows up with it. Like, he used to take naps on the cases of beer. I think his nickname was Buckshot back in the day. And so that's all he's grown up with. He is a world famous super fan at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's got his own cape. The Atlanta Speedway has him on their website. I mean, they love him. I mean, he's good press. And the other thing is, he just really knows a lot about NASCAR. The other thing is, he looks he's actually cleaned up a lot since we've been doing our show, but you know, he's a country boy. He's got a country boy accent. He knows NASCAR. It is so much fun to spend time with him. I'm 60 old. I think he's maybe 35. I'm about his dad's age, but he and I bond like brothers. You know, I was in the military. I was a Chinook pilot. I was in the military 20 years. And the first thing you do when you're in a military unit is you form bonds with the guys and the ladies that you work with. And Brandon and I, that camaraderie is going on. We feed off each other. We have a really good time. What I lack in skill, I make up for with enthusiasm.
Oh, you sure do. I can vouch for that. Hey, you're listening to Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here in the Star Garden of Coach's Corner. And your excitement is contagious, and it's great to watch you guys on Wednesday night and to listen to you talk about it. Now, Lawrence, you are the producer. You're the brains behind this. Don't let Dan think he's the brains, okay? How do you keep these guys in check, and what goes into your part of the show?
Well, you know, they're so talented, and Coach Griffin, you'll appreciate this. You know, Dan is a lot like Coach DeMasi. He never met a microphone he didn't love. And they're really naturals behind the mic, and they're awesome. I do a few little talking points, and then they put the show together, and it's fantastic the way it comes together.
All right, and now you've taken it one step further. Sunday mornings on ESPN Radio on Savannah 104.3, and I'm going to blow my bubble here, and I usually don't do that, and this guy could tell you because he's known me for a long time. But when I started working with PJ Zuko, he was my producer. That's what he was doing back then. You could tell this kid, and he's only a kid, had so much knowledge about race cars that when we got into part of my show dealing with the racing events, the big racing events coming on, I said, I got to bring this kid on. And then we got into high school sports. PJ Zuko, if you're watching, I love what you do, brother. And I'm telling you, put him and Brandon Bain together, you got an encyclopedia that Dan can take home every night to find out more information.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Coach. So what I would encourage fans to do is, if you're a relatively new fan, or if it's kind of been in the background the whole time, you know, but you haven't really been paying a lot of attention to it, maybe you go have a cold beer at a bar and there's a race on TV and I used to cover races with medevac helicopters. I grew up 15 miles from Daytona. And then I just made a conscious decision in the last couple of years that I'm going to learn more about this. I want to dive deeper in this. And it's like a relationship that you have in your life. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. The more you learn about something, the more you enjoy it. And so if somebody's watching Rubbin' and Grubbin', or they're listening to us on Sunday morning, basically it's me learning more and more about the sport. And believe it or not, there's still a long way to go, but I am starting to pick up some stuff. And the more I learn, the more fascinating it is. Here's an example of that. You know, our heroes, my heroes, the guys back in the 60s and the 70s, it was a draw in a car, and they used to really be stock cars. I mean, yes. You know, that when they say stock car, that was like a car you could go get off the yep. Today, that sport is a totally team effort. If you ever listen on to Radioactive, which is a short thing that NASCAR does every week, Radioactive dials you into the chatter between the spotter, who is a young man with a lot of racing experience. Young man, could be a young woman. They're sitting up on the highest part of a track, and they've got binoculars. And that guy is watching his driver in his car, and there is a constant stream of communication between them. It is not unlike the stream of communication that occurs between a Chinook pilot in a Chinook and a chief 50 feet behind him on the ramp, telling him what to do with the helicopter. The spotter tells the driver, basically, this is where you can go, this is where you can't go, this is what's going on around you, because those drivers nowadays with the Hans device, the head and neck suspension system, they can't move their head. They're all they can do is can move their a little bit, not much. So for them to know what's going on around them, for them to have situational awareness, they totally depend on a spotter. If you remember when Ison was going on, Jimmy Johnson complained about the computer-generated spotter giving him bad information repeatedly and causing him to crash. So I'm trying to think of my favorite TJ. I can't think of TJ's last name right now, but there are some spotters who are really brilliant. So you got a spotter up there, and then you've got a driver in a car. And, the crew chief, the team chief, who's sitting up on top of a toolbox, that guy is thinking the strategy, fuel stops, tires. What do I got to do to make the car go faster? And it's like all these people, and then the team, of course. I mean, the pit team. The Wood came along and they turn a pit stop from a 10-minute thing where the driver got out and smoked a cigarette and had a cold beer to now they change 4 tires and put gas and make adjustments to a car, and they do that in about 19 seconds. Yeah. I mean, to watch all this happening at once, it's like chess or orchestra or ballet. I mean, it is just absolutely spectacular. And then there's the imagery. You turn on a Fox race with all those camera angles and on a big screen TV, and you crank that sound up, it'll blow you away. It is absolutely spectacular. Over.
Hey, Lawrence, you got to be proud of this guy. He's learned a lot in 4 months. But like you said, you guys have been hanging out for 4 years, talking and making a little side gesture and drinking some adult beverages and eating together. So I think it might have just rubbed off. The rubbing rubbed off on Dan Foles.
Well, we're worried about him getting too much knowledge, and that'll be the end of the show. That's not our concept,
I know. But anyway, I appreciate you guys coming on a Saturday morning, telling everybody about your show. Go ahead, Lawrence. Tell us what goes on every Wednesday night here at Coach's Corner and how they can tune in.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, we come in, we try to start the show about 6, but we like to get here and set up. And we welcome everybody to come and watch. The more the merrier, because Dan loves the crowd. We had a big crowd last week, actually. And and Coach, congratulations on being named the Island's basketball coach. Here's my pin for you.
Going back on the sidelines, yeah, I've missed it. But once again, you guys do a great job. Appreciate what you do. Appreciate you letting me, tail along on you guys on Wednesday nights and keep it up. And we got to sit down and really get into this and maybe just do a show just on what goes on in NASCAR. Because, Dan, you're learning, buddy. You're learning.
Coach, I'm loving it. Hey, it's great to see you, Coach. Coach Chad, it's great to see you. I love it when I see you guys. You know what? All this buzz is good for the business, and I love it. Thank you all for being there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, Dan, you know what you got to start learning how to say? You got to love it. Come on, get that New Yorker in it. You got to love it.
You got to love it.
I'll talk to you guys during the week. Thanks.
Bye, guys. Bye, Coach Chad.
All right.
Thanks again. We really enjoyed it.
Appreciate you having on. Appreciate you doing it. I mean, you got 3 guys, and there's more than that. They got their wives behind them. They got their brother behind them. I mean, it's just Wednesday night is a lot of fun watching what these guys do. And they're really serious about putting the production on the right way. I mean, Lawrence, very quiet in the back, but he's got the lighting. He's got the cameras. I mean, Dan and Brandon, they just want to eat food and drink and talk about race car driving. So they got to have someone at the controls.
Someone's got to be at the helm.
Someone's got to drive the car.
Someone's got to drive the helm and the ship and everything else. But those guys, they make it so much fun, and they're so enthusiastic about it. And that's why people tune in. Is they love Dan's enthusiasm, they love the guy's knowledge about it.
Brandon,
and
he's great.
It's all wrapped into one, and then they get food delivered in the middle of it. They get Promote Coach's Corner, and
what more you want?
And you can't beat it. I mean, I grew up in Gastonia, North Carolina, in the heart of NASCAR country around Charlotte, Rockingham. I mean, we had all kinds of racetracks around, that area.
You should become a special guest.
And it's changed over the years. I mean, it's gone to these small tracks and these rural areas. Now, Homestead, Las Vegas. I mean, California. You just didn't have those until the TV market started expanding.
Right.
Hey, you got to put a track in Miami. You got to put a track in Vegas. Got to put a track in California, because you got to get these media markets to go. I mean, it was a really centralized sport. Yeah, they went to Michigan, they went to Pocono, but that was really it. And
I've always had Watkins Glen.
Glen roadway.
So, everybody knows Glen Falls because that's where what happened in 1969.
Yeah.
So, but Watkins Glen's been there for a while.
Yeah, road course has been there for a while and run that. So really, it was a East Coast, South regional type sport. Now it's expanded all across the country.
All right, we got to get you out of here. We got to thank our sponsors. We'll come back with 3 steps out the door, and that's, of course, with the coach and AD right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report from the Soundguard on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We got to thank these people because they make this happen every Saturday.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner, but remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night in Soundgarden, it's the Head Games, a tribute band to Foreigner. Tickets on Eventbrite are $15 to $40. And remember, make it a night at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
and good Saturday morning. We're back here. We're back here for the last segment, about 5 minutes. And I know we had some hiccups during the show, but it always goes a little longer. It's the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report from the Sound Garden, and it's all on Coach's Corner Sports Network. And we got to thank John Henson for lending us students. All right, let's get three steps out the door. It's my turn this week to answer 3 questions off the wall from Coach Griffin.
All right, one, we're coming into 4th of July week.
Right.
Obviously. So what is one of your favorite things about the 4th of July? You know, whether it was growing up or now here in Savannah, something you picked up that might have been a tradition with your family.
My big thing on 4th of July is the get-together, the block party, the food, okay? What more you want me to tell you? I mean, the hot dogs, the hamburgers, the corn on the cob, you know, the shrimp. Just celebrating with friends and family and having a good time. And, of course, me especially is the food. So, well,
speaking of that, all right, so the famous 4th of July isn't the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
One of my favorite sporting events. Yes, and it is a sporting event in the world.
All right, so Joey Chestnut has been the guy. All right, have you ever taken part in any kind of eating contest?
Oh, yeah. I've never been in part of a hot dog eating contest, but pie eating contest, blueberry pie, lemon meringue pie, you name it. I was champ a couple of times too.
Really?
So, oh yeah, I mean, I could scoff down that pie really quick. My favorite though is the chocolate pudding pie eating contest. Ooh. I mean, so yes, I've been involved in a lot of eating contests.
I wasn't trying to insinuate. I was just asking. He's from New York. You know, that's where it is, right? Coney Island.
Yep, Coney Island.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to push it back this year because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
But one other thing I got to say is I was involved. My greatest memory, I was involved in we call them up there, White Castle eating contest.
Ooh,
it's like crystals.
Yeah, crystals got little onions on them.
I mean, I finished 100.
Did you really?
I finished 100. The guy that beat me ate 175.
How long did you have to do it?
We had a half an hour to do it. I don't know how this guy ate 175 crystals or White Castles, but I'm telling you right now, I was hurting. So I can imagine how Joey Chestnuts and all those other competitors hurt after they eat so much food, because I'm telling you, I was sick for at least 2 days.
Well, that leads to my last question is if you had one food that you could eat and not worry about the calorie intake of it, what is it?
For me?
Yeah.
A real good pizza pie. I can eat a pie after pie after pie. Now I'm talking about a regular pizza pie, or as we call in New York, a pie, which was just mozzarella cheese, a little marinara sauce, and of course the Italian crust. Okay, there's nothing like that. I mean, I could eat that for days on end. So if you had a pie eating contest, okay, now you're gonna think I'm crazy. I don't like the pie right out of the oven, out of the brick oven, hot as can be. I let it cool off, so it's sort of somewhat warm, but somewhat cool. I can eat that all, and I can't tell you how many times I woke up and had leftover pizza for breakfast.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like. I mean, my kids, we'll have pizza on Friday nights or Saturday nights, whatever, and they'll come in the kitchen Saturday or Sunday morning, and I'm eating the cold pizza out of the refrigerator. I think it's the best
thing in the world.
Now, tell everybody once again, what is your favorite place to go get a pie when you're in New York?
In New York, it's called Gino's Pizzeria. Gino's Pizza, right on Sunrise Highway in Limerick, New York. What's across the street? White Castles. Hey, I'm in heaven.
All right, that was my 3. 4th of July. Have you ever been in a part of an eating contest? And if you got to eat one thing all the time, but not worrying about calorie intake, what would it be? Get the pizza slice, you fold it in half, and you eat it like an Italian. I mean, this fork and knife stuff out the window. People who microwave their pizza, you're crazy, because that only makes it tougher to eat. You can't microwave pizza. You got to put it back in the oven and heat it up. Take it from the Italian here, okay? That was my 3, man. So, hey, you got to get out of here. I got to go home, take care of the yard. So it's been a great show. Got to thank, of course, Chris Davidovich. Yep. We got soccer tonight, 6:30, Savannah Clovers over at Memorial Stadium. That's the Men's Premier League. Then you can go over to Benedictine. 5:30 is their Future Stars game. And then at 7:30, we got some local players playing. Yeah. Okay, the Ahern sisters, Martinez out of, I think, South Effingham. I think Farmer from Savannah Christian, right? Yeah, Martinez out of Effingham. Out of Effingham. Yeah. Hannah Farmer out of, is it Hannah Farmer? I'm pretty sure out of Savannah Christian. Okay, don't forget the Bananas start next Wednesday. Okay, so we thank Chris Davidovich and the Savannah Spirit for helping us out the last 2 weeks. Got to go with the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete Week. Jackson Schaff from the Benedictine Clay Sporting Shooting Team, the Forest
City Gun Club junior team. I know the connection was bad, but Jackson,
Only
you
2
did
years.
it. You did a great job.
Unbelievable, buddy.
Only shooting for 2 years.
Unreal.
Okay, and then of course Horace Broadnex, the Savannah State men's basketball coach, coming in and talking about the 30-second clock and what he's doing over there at Savannah State, and of course the other show on the Coach's
Rubbin' and
Sports,
Grubbin', baby.
Rubbin' and Grubbin'. 4 months. I think they've been doing it longer than that. So once again, we'll be back next week. It'll be Coach and AD. It'll be 4th of July. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll have some fireworks on the show.
We could get something.
We can arrange that. So remember, every Saturday morning from 9 o'clock until no later than 11, right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live. It's all sports, all local, all the time on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report with the Coach and AD. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you Wednesday night. Whatever you may be doing today, hit it out of the park. But until next week, may it be your best week ever. We'll talk to you later. Peace out.
I'm not doing you a sponsor.
And you got to play ball.
Yeah.